Welcome to Improving Business, and I'm your host, Ralph Black. Today, our guest is going to be Temco Precision Machining. Temco is an innovative manufacturer of precision machine parts and components. They machine precision parts for the aerospace, defense, electronics, commercial, and space industries. They have been in business since 1963, and they provide CNC machining, EDM, assembly, and special processes for jobs ranging from prototype to high volume production. We have two guests with us here today, and I'd like to start with our first guest is Richard Bortz. He is the quality manager at Temco Precision Machining. He went to New Hampshire Technical Institute for a 2-year mechanical engineering program and has been in the aerospace manufacturing for 28 years, 14 of which have been with Temco. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Also, our next guest is George Cipolla. He is a ISO 9001 certified lead auditor, a consultant with Perry Johnson Consulting, a trainer with Perry Johnson Inc., and he conducts third-party and internal audits, writes documentation, and assists in implementation activities for quality management systems. George also has a BS degree from St. Joseph University in Philadelphia, PA, and George has been with Perry Johnson Consulting since 1998 and is currently the National Consulting Manager. He has directly assisted over 230 clients achieve ISO 9001, AS 9100, ISO 13485 and MD-SPA, ISO 14001, IATF 16949, ISO 37001, and 45001 certifications. That's quite a bio, George. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's a lot of numbers and happy to be here.
Richard, let's start with you. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your position at Temco Precision Machining?
Well, I started my career 20 years ago on the production side of manufacturing. I worked myself into lead roles. I was doing CNC programming. I was involved in many lean and continuous improvement initiatives in previous companies. Shortly after arriving at Temco, I transitioned to a quality leadership role, and I've been a quality manager here for about 7 years, give or take.
Wow.
I'm a Lean Six Sigma green belt, and I play a lead role in Temco's lean initiatives here and continuous improvement initiatives.
Impressive. Can you tell us a little bit about what Temco does?
Well, like you said, we manufacture precision parts, mainly for aerospace and defense industries. We do have a large customer in the commercial space that we also manufacture for very high precision parts as well. We have up to 5-axis milling capabilities as well as EDM, sinker, and wire capabilities. Very flexible for what we can do on the floor. We also have a large metrology footprint right on the manufacturing floor. I think we're up to 10 or 11 CMMs. We have 5 vision CMMs. We have a lot for our production group. We provide a lot of support there. So, yeah, and I think we're up to 72, 73 employees here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, your company was originally certified to ISO 9001, and Perry Johnson Consulting also added and upgraded you to AS 9100D for aerospace. Can you tell me, how does your certified QMS help you successfully face your challenges?
The certification, specifically AS 9100, ISO is included on that. It provides a framework for our internal processes and how we approach risks, both internally and externally. And we really try to build these requirements into our standard work. We don't want this to be some sidebar activity that we need to do to satisfy a standard. We truly look at the standard, what it's asking for, how can we build it? We look at the advantages of what it's asking for and build it into our processes.
Interesting. Now, George, did you originally consult them when they were first set up for ISO 9001?
I began working with Temco way before Richard got there, back, I think it was around 2007, 2008. And at that time, they originally sought 9001, but they had plans to go to AS 9100. And then things being what they are as far as scheduling, I had to perform other assignments. So another gentleman, a colleague from PJC, took them to the 9001 and to the AS 9100 when it was at the C revision, maybe even the B. So I've been back since 2015 to now supporting them.
Okay. Richard, what needs and expectations drive you to need to maintain certification?
A lot of our customers require at a minimum an ISO certification, 9001. But they prefer the AS 9100 certification. Temco, we don't want to just get by with being good enough. We want to be ahead of that. So that's probably the biggest drive for us.
Well, after you added ISO 9000 or 9100D, did you realize a positive impact, like better throughput with performance, or reduction in your defects, improvement in efficiency, or reduction of waste?
Yeah. One of the drivers that AS 9100 has is, monitoring KPIs. We take that very seriously. We have many KPIs that we monitor at different levels. We'll compile that. We'll have that data, and that becomes our best tool for those challenges you listed. Because it's real information, and it's not how we feel might be the solution or how we feel it might be. It's real data. So we use that requirement in our daily stand-up meetings, weekly stand-up meetings with the management team to help drive either corrective actions or continuous improvement efforts. We can recognize, hey, we have an issue here, a potential issue. Hey, let's go after it.
For anybody who's not familiar with KPI, that's a key performance indicator. Richard, can you tell me about challenges like to employees as they try and adjust to the quality management system, and especially like new employees? Does it impact their morale at all?
We really try to build those requirements into our everyday work. So whatever they're doing, whatever inputs they have, whatever their requirements are, we're using those AS 9100 requirements to match up with that standard work, daily work. I don't think there's an impact to morale. Audit time comes around and you see people get nervous, and for me, it's just, this is a test of our system. How robust is it? And I communicate that down to our employees, and that kind of puts them at ease a little bit. There's no wrong answers here. If there's something discovered, then hey, we have to go after it. So that's kind of how we approach it. So I've been in places where the management team gets really amped up and nervous come audit time, and I didn't want to do that, because I didn't want to people trying to remember our quality statements or something like that. So just build it into your standard work.
That just gets everybody else nervous, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So try to have just an open dialogue across the board.
That's great.
Yeah.
George, can you tell me, what do you provide to Temco to kind of support the QMS? I mean, do you do it on an ongoing basis, or how exactly does that work?
Yeah, and I have to tip my hat to Temco. They signed an agreement with us to allow me to do a lot And I perform their internal audits, and out of that comes a lot of things, findings, recommendations for improvement. And unlike some of our relationships, they want us to also offer our advice on how to change things for the better. Document revisions, I help with modifying them. I help them with implementing corrective actions. I help them with continual improvement efforts, and I help them with their management reviews. And they have me come out twice a year. Usually it's the first and fourth quarter. They time them so that we get a year-end look, and then we get a look before their annual surveillance audit with the registrar.
Richard, what can you tell me about that experience?
It's a huge help. Having a different set of eyes coming in and going through our QMS, that's a huge help. We can become blind to our own processes sometimes where there might be gaps. So having someone else come in, especially on the consulting side of things, to help us get through some of these challenges. How can I adapt this to our everyday work? It's big. Yeah.
Would you recommend other companies to become certified?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We wouldn't be where we are without it. The industry that we work in, they prefer it, but really they want it. And you're not going to be a top tier supplier for them, otherwise. I believe.
Interesting. Well, I have a question. How would you say, I mean, this is all about improving business. So how would you say your business has been improved over the years?
Well, with that, in regards to this, to being certified, I mean, they see that. That's a check mark for them. And a lot of these companies, even though you are certified, they come in and do their own assessments, and we knock it out of the park because we have what they're looking for. And our customers themselves are AS 9100 certified. So, they're asking the same questions the standard's asking. So,
so does that help you get more customers?
Oh, yeah. Especially on the defense side, especially the defense side.
Mm-hmm.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, when you become AS 9100D, you also become part of the OASIS database.
Yep.
What's your experience with that? How does that work for you?
Yeah, that's pretty seamless. It's nice doing that versus, working on an Excel format and emailing and stuff like that. You might have sensitive material that you have to deal with. So, no, it's seamless. It's a good experience.
So, after becoming ISO certified, some companies will investigate adding additional standards. Like you yourself, you became ISO 9001. Then you added the standard AS 9100D. Other companies might add like IATF 16949 for the automotive industry, or 1345 for the medical industry. But lately, a lot of companies are looking at adding ISO 27001 or CMMC for cybersecurity. Have you thought of, or do you have the need about adding any of those standards additionally in the future?
So, currently we are NIST level 2 rated. We seem to be a little ahead of the game, which is where we want to be. We've gotten feedback from our customers that many of their suppliers are far behind this effort. I haven't seen any drive with our customers towards a particular standard, but we follow that. We do that. AS 9145 is a big talk right now in aerospace landscape, and we're pursuing that as well. So we kind of read the tea leaves. I think it was 2019. I was going through my green belt training, and I saw that kind of on the wall, and I've been talking about that here, and we've made a lot of moves towards that since then. So.
Right. Do you, by being AS9100D, has it helped you meet customer requirements like CAR, NC controls, process improvements, or complaint handling, that type of thing?
Yeah, like I said, our customers themselves are AS9100 typically certified, so the language is the same. You know, it's a standard that we're all speaking the same. Everybody's working towards that standard. You know, they're going by the standard. We're going by the standard. When it comes to you know, corrective actions or anything like that, process improvements, any of that stuff, it's kind of seamless. It's just, you know, familiar language.
Uh, If you had one piece of advice for someone getting ready to add a standard to their company, what would it be?
I'd say go after it and be patient. It's a long road. I mean, George has been involved with our journey, and you just can't stop. You know, you might have it, you know, the ink to paper at some point, but you got to keep, you know, looking for those improvements and working towards that.
Well, at this point in the podcast, we'd like to do take just a couple seconds out for what we call our tech management or tech manufacturing tip of the month. And I'm hoping you have a tip for our listeners, Richard, that you can give them anything about EDM or CNC.
I don't have any particular tips, but as far as like EDM process or machining processes, I mean, there's probably countless of them, but from my perspective, especially if you're in a management or a supervisor position and you're faced with a challenge, there's been a reject or you're seeing recurring issues, the biggest help for me is walk the floor, talk to the coworkers doing the work, get their input. There's been a lot of times we sit around a conference table and we're trying to, you know, find the answer, and you can spend an hour on that and get nowhere. You go to the floor and it's like, oh, okay, that's okay. All right, we got a path now. So that's it's simple, but it's extremely powerful.
Go to the source, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
George, you've been assisting Temco Precision Machining now for quite some time. What have you witnessed over the years?
Well, definitely, this is a company that takes the standard very seriously and also takes their customers extremely seriously. And they've evolved from a company that relied on paper trails. And, you know, they always worry about the human factor when you have paper. And they've evolved into a high-tech corporation. I'm very impressed with where they've come to. They have platforms that help mistake-proof the quoting process. The software for print ballooning's there. They have software for first article inspections, SPC, production and inspection plans, PPAPs, FMEAs, model-based definition. They spare no expense to improve their infrastructure. And I've never been anywhere that had as many high-tech CNC equipment and measuring equipment. I joke a lot saying every technician here has his or her own CMM. I mean, it's that widespread. You don't see this anywhere else. So, and my success is based on their success. And I've never worked with a company that takes the standard and its tools so seriously. That starts at the top, at leadership. And they really are committed to improvement. They put their money where their mouth is. So I'm very impressed with them, where they are now from where they came back about 18, 19 years ago.
Would you say that you play an integral role in their performance evaluation and improvement for Temco?
I like to think that, because I drive them nuts with improvements, and then they get upset when I come back and say, so what did you do about that? But it's good because it's a cycle. And you heard Richard say, you never stop. And it's funny how he mentioned about going to the source. We've been through many improvement activities, and it just seems like when you go out and talk to the person handling the product, They touch the part. They know the frustrations. They have a great communication system, and they get the answers. And they've been very successful there. And they measure it. It's real important measurements. When he says KPIs, they measure everything. And it really, really pays off with customer satisfaction.
Great. Richard, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about Temco?
Well, yeah, I mean, thank you, George, for those. Our ownership here is very supportive of adjusting to market, customer trends, customer initiatives. We kind of, we're involved in a lot of meetings with our customers, whether it's yearly, where are we going kind of things. And we try to shift to what they're going for, because at some point they're going to want their supplier base to do that. And I think that's reflected. We've won multiple Supplier of the Year awards with our biggest customers, and they're big players in the defense world. As a matter of fact, the management team is out today receiving one of those awards. So, that kind of really solidifies our efforts, because that's
Sure.
You can't ask for much better than that.
Sure.
Yeah.
George, anything else you'd like to cover?
Just to say, I like how they get the ultimate customer satisfaction evidence. They don't rely on just surveys or report cards. They get awards, and they don't give these awards out lightly. There's a lot of players, and for you to achieve Supplier of the Year, especially with the people they're achieving it with, is a great honor and a great achievement.
Well, George, thanks for being with us here today from Perry Johnson Consulting. Richard Bortz from Temco Precision Machining, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you.
And that should just about do it for us. I just want to say Temco Precision Machining, if you need machine parts for aerospace, defense, electronics, commercial, or space industries, contact Temco Precision Machining, located at 800 Hope Avenue, Manchester, New Hampshire. You can also email them, sales@temcotool.com, or call them at 603-622-6989. And if you need assistance in maintaining or getting ready for ISO 9001, AS 9100D, 27001, or any other ISO standard, contact Perry Johnson Consulting at 888-248-0256 or via the web, pjcinc.com. Thank you, everyone, today. I really appreciate your time, and have a wonderful week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.